There is a serious problem in the US, possibly across the world, and it focuses around some US statistics that were not done very well. The CDC in the US, for those who do not know, is charged with tracking epidemics and investigating illness. But their statistics have always been in question, and rightfully so. I won't quote them as they are very easy to find online. But I will look at the persistent stereotype that has resulted from one of their so-called reports. AIDS is an epidemic in the world still, and the fact often left out on such matters is that many people will carry such a disease without ever knowing it. This one is no different. The statistics show a huge increase in homosexual populations of people being diagnosed with STDs, not just AIDS specifically, but the bigots are ignoring this rather important fact. The stereotype begins that homosexuals are more prone to disease, but the reality is far more disturbing than that. When AIDS was first noticed in the US, the medical industry knew it could be spread to anyone in many ways, so they began a campaign encouraging everyone to be tested. But that campaign did not last very long. It was presented as part of sexual education in schools to get young people more informed so when they become adults we could help to slow the spread of certain illnesses. Soon after, another campaign started, but this was targeting homosexual people specifically, and it caught on. Gay people seemed to care about their health way more. A simple yet supported observation. So they routinely got tested for any and all STDs, not just AIDS. Then the scare happened. Because of the increase in the number of homosexuals being tested regularly, we see the statistics showing a spike in their diagnosis in homosexuals. This is what it should happen in the entire population, if everyone took such ailments seriously. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some heterosexuals who also get tested regularly, it's just not enough to make a dent. Everyone should be tested regularly to stop the spread of all STDs, but in reality, a homosexual person is more likely to know than a heterosexual person because of the campaign that successfully targeted only them. In case you missed the nuance, I will spell it out for you more succinctly. Homosexual people are tested more often, and almost always willingly, than heterosexual people, increasing your chances of getting an STD from a heterosexual person so drastically that it even skews the statistics of the CDC. The problem is that the CDC gathers their information from medical facilities, and most patients are not tested for such things unless they request it. Therefore, only those who are at all informed on such matters will ever be diagnosed in the first place. Now, what makes this even more frightening is that STDs can be spread in more ways than people seem to realize, depending on the gender, or at least which public restroom you use. Females have a higher risk of spreading and catching them due to some issues that I shall not go into detail. What is needed is testing. Every doctor's appointment, every hospital visit, they often take blood for other tests anyways, so just make a quick suggestion to have it submitted for STD testing as well. There is a chance, though not all STDs can be spread this way, of coming into contact with viruses and bacteria in almost all public situations. But most STDs are curable, except a few, and the one that is primary focus of this topic, AIDS, is one that can be spread through blood contact, which seems rare, though it's more common than people seem to realize. Open mouth kissing, while inherently unable to spread it, can indeed spread AIDS in many situations, like cold sores, cankers, or even cavities, which can bleed even without pain. Any instance in which blood can be exchanged, including blood and plasma donations. The doctors know the real risk, and often do whatever they can to avoid blood transfusion because of that risk, since all blood cannot be tested after it's collected, and the donation centers only consider homosexual blood donations to be a risk. We have seen such HIV contamination in the blood supply several times, in spite of homosexuals being banned from giving blood. This is the eye-opener, and one that should scare anyone, because heterosexuals are less likely to be tested, and since they are the only ones able to donate blood or plasma, this contamination is coming from only one source in the US, straight people. Combined with the CDC reports, it's clear that the stereotype of AIDS is still harming us. I am asexual, I don't have sex. Yet, I even get tested, willingly, for STDs at least once a year. These are not gay diseases, and the heterosexual people are more likely to carry it unknowingly because of the stereotype. There are also other ways to catch these, so everyone should get tested in order to slow the progress of these illnesses. So get tested. Even if you have never had a partner, even if you are a child, get tested just in case. If you know you have one, then it's probably easily cured, but only if you know soon enough.